Morning, folks. This morning soap is brought to us by RazoRock. This one here, the name is Chicago. Comes in a 150 milliliter container. That's about 5 ounces, and has a floral, citrus, and I pick up the powder by my nose. At any rate, so it looks like there on the inside. It's fairly soft. It's firm in the container, of course, but when you scoop it out, put it in a bowl, it's fairly easy to press into the bowl. Fairly soft. Got the alum block, complete with no rubber band this morning. Got the Humphrey's Witch Hazel. This one here is citrus scented, and I did add some menthol crystals to it, so it is mentholated now. And got the matching aftershave here. Got it whipped up here in a thrift store find bowl. Got it on the wet side. Pretty close to being just like yogurt. It's a little drippy. Just a little. Not real bad. I like it on the wet side. That's the way I prefer it. Already put a hot towel to the face this morning. And what little I have left of the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Ice Preshave soap, I'll get started with it. And shaver of the day is the Supply Injector. It's the polished version, and it's got a Personna blade in it. And I think this will be about the third use of this particular blade. Tony! It's been one of those kind of mornings with Tony. He's been, how can you say, a wee bit needy this morning. Can hear him have a heavy sigh. But back to my train of thought here. Now that it's been derailed, I have a link down below to Jill's channel. She's got a shave out also with a different RazoRock soap, and she's also sporting a Supply Injector with a Personna blade. Hers, I think, is the matte version. I got the polished version, and I think there's two more versions. I think a matte black, and then of course, you know, one that's like a black chrome. Black chrome really does look good. That's a good looking shaver. It wasn't available when I got mine. I've had mine for a moment. I excuse me. If you missed one of the, I guess you might say the previous video, I mentioned it from time to time when I use the Supply Injector, that I have a tendency to use the mini hair shaper blades, which those are the same blades that the injector, same as the injector blades. It's just that the dispenser doesn't have a key to it, that's all. And those are pretty easy to find. I say easy in that they're readily available on Amazon, for instance. In other words, most people can get a hold of Amazon and find hair shaper blades, and as well as the mini ones. The plate that I'm using today is the 3-dot, and it's still, it seems like no matter what the plate, I get great shaves with this shaver. The 2-dot is considered, I guess you might say, classic. I think it has a lot to do with your skin type on which plate works best for you. For me, it's the using the 2-plate on a daily basis is okay, but this one here, I've been able to use it on a daily basis, also the 3-dot, and still get pretty good shaves. I think part of the key also when you're shaving with this shaver on a daily basis is get familiar with the kind of blade you're using, whether it's a Schick or Personna. How many shaves can you get? How many good shaves can you get with the blade? The to me, there's a big difference in between Schick and Personna. I've not had good luck with Schick blades. Every once in a while, it seems like there's at least one, and it seems like at least the packaging that I get a hold of from Schick, you know, they'll have what, 7 blades in there, and Personna usually has in the neighborhood of 20. And to me, Personna is a much better value, and it seems like the quality control is better too. Because Tony, there's usually at least one blade in that Schick dispenser that ends up being a dud. You can tell by looking at the edge, there's just a flat spot. So I quit buying them. Not that I had bought very many, but after I think 3 packages I bought, 2 of them were like that. And there's a grocery store named Reese's here that sells them from time to time. Sometimes they're in stock, sometimes they're not. But anyway, when I would get those, get 7 of them for $5. Yeah. Just trying to remember the price tag. But at any rate, I do like Personna blades. Scent strength on this for me, by my nose, and my nose is not the best if you're new to the channel. I really suffer with sinus issues, and I have over the years. And my nose is, well, I guess you might say my smelling capability has suffered somewhat. I would say this is about maybe a 5, maybe a 4 or 5. For me, the scent strength is, it's present, I can smell it, it's just not real strong. And for me, that's it's not a big issue on scent strength, as long as I can smell it. If I remember right, I think over the Father's Day weekend that they had, I think they had a special going on these. I really didn't pay that close attention because I, how can I say, I don't really need or I'm interested in another one. I'm happy with the one I got. I really do like this shaver. I will say though, it is on the heavyweight side. It is not light. So if you don't appreciate or like heavyweight shavers, this one here would not be for you. But the fact that it is adjustable with the plates, and it's it's well made. It's not going to quit on you anytime soon. There's not much into it to, how you say, quit on you. The only thing that you might run into an issue with is that thumb screw. If you should happen to lose it, they do sell replacement ones. That'd be the only thing that would be of concern in my opinion. It's for instance, the excuse me, there's not a spring, for instance, to a certain extent that's going to wear out on you. In other words, it's going to last me the rest of my life. And going into the next one too, because it'll get passed on. Just like it is with most injectors, keeping this relatively flat. You can adjust it, you'll be able to tell. But it's pretty easy to find the angle. There's a little bit of feedback on the against grain pass. I can still smell it. So sometimes my nose will get used to the scent. It'll be there. My wife will be able to smell it, but I won't be able to. This is a nice scent. Right now I'm picking up more of the floral. The citrus is there. I think it takes a secondary role. The floral is what I pick up most of. And they say, according to the website, the dry down you'll pick up the powder. For me, when I first opened it, that's what I noticed was the powder. But that was just my nose. I had my wife check it out too, make sure that what I was smelling was right. Sometimes I have a hard time picking out these scents. If you're not real familiar with the scent, or you have to smell it long enough for that scent to come out. So to me, it's not real heavy on the scent, on the floral scent, or much less the powder. It's well blended, I guess you might say. Makes it kind of hard for my nose to pick up all the individual scents when they're well blended like that. Yesterday's shave was a good shave. I was using Dr. John's soap. It was one that's discontinued. It's a, I guess you might say his line was a part of his Sunday Fun Day, which for me most of the time that's what Sunday shaves are. Just a little bit of stinging with this one on my neck. That is the third shave, so in other words, by the time I get to the fifth one, usually that's pretty obvious. It's time for a fresh blade. Excuse me. The crystals I got from my Cold Fusion from Wet the Face, that soap there is it's nice. I really like it. It's the for those that want something that's might be considered over the top in the way of menthol, that one there is what you're looking for. I feel like it's done in such a way though that if the menthol is just maybe a little too much for you, that you can take a scoop and mix it in with something else, help take some of the edge off, if you will. I have just enough menthol in this one here that you feel that cooling effect. It's there, but it's not real strong. It does feels great. It does. It feels nice on the face, especially during the warm months. This is what the restrictor looks like there. If you can see it out there, it is. I mentioned this before. There's a little bit of a bump on the side on these containers from RazoRock, and I don't recall the older ones having that. It does make it a little bit easier to hang on to. Some might consider this a little bit on the barbershop side of the spectrum in the way of scents. Waiting for the dry down to pick up the powder. I'm just now starting to pick up some of the powder. It smells great. I love it. This was nice. I've seen this, had my eye on it, had it on sale, so I decided to go ahead and get some. And yeah, this is, if you like barbershop scents, this one here might fall in that category maybe. At least per my nose. Anyway, once again, I got a link down below to Jill's channel. Almost forgot what to call it. And like I said, she's sporting another RazoRock soap if you want to take a look at that one, as well as the Supply Injector. Nice face 3-dot plate. Till next time, everybody stay safe and smooth shaves to you.